Assalamu alaikum everyone and Pakhair Rakhle. This is Fahad and I hope you're all doing well. This is a long-term review of the Xiaomi 15 that I've been using for almost 6 months, and I must say it's a very good compact flagship, but it's not perfect, and we'll talk about that in this video. But before that, if you're new to the channel, do subscribe to my channel and watch the video till the end. Let's get into it. So I'll start with the design. It's a very solid phone with great metal glass sandwich build. The front is protected by Xiaomi Shield glass while protection on the back glass is not specified. Also, Xiaomi claims that the frame is now more durable and drop resistant, and it's using 6M42 high strength aluminum alloy. And as far as its sound output is concerned, so it has two stereo speakers that have Dolby Atmos support. The bottom one being the main one has around 60% of the sound output, while the one on top is integrated into the earpiece that gives out about 40% of the sound output. इंडिकेटर है एंड बॉटम पर टाइप सी पोर्ट है एंड केस का लोअर पार्ट रिजिड प्लास्टिक से बना है जो कि 2T6 स्क्रूज की मदद से फिक्स्ड है which basically holds the internals of the case intact and the rest of the case is clean with no pairing and reset button. Since Xiaomi has removed the headphone jack from their mainline phones, but Bluetooth audio streaming is pretty reliable on this device. But for some reason, switching the region to San Marino or the United States will increase the overall sound output over Bluetooth devices like headphones and earbuds. And as far as the haptics are concerned, so the haptics feel just fine. Out of the box, the phone weighs around 192 grams, but with a case and tempered glass on it, it weighs around 235 grams. It's also IP68 dust and water resistant, and it can withstand submersion up to 1.5 meters, although I mostly try to keep it dry. And since I'm using this phone as my daily driver, so I have slapped on a smart double tempered glass screen protector on the front and on the camera module. And I'm also using a Nilkin Frosted Shield Pro case to keep it protected. Now if we talk about the display, so it's a 6.36-inch 120Hz AMOLED LTPO panel with a resolution of 1200 by 2670 pixels. And it has 1920Hz PWM dimming, which makes the display very dim in low brightness mode, and at the same time it reduces the eye strain. The bezels are pretty much symmetrical and it has a 90% screen to body ratio with 460 ppi density. It's a pretty bright display even outdoors. The peak brightness is 3200 nits, but that is for the HDR content under bright sunlight, though manually setting the brightness yields about 549 nits, while the automatic brightness in sunlight can reach up to 1517 nits. The display supports Dolby Vision, HDR10 Plus, and Widevine L1. So as far as the media consumption is concerned, so you won't be having any issues. It has great viewing angles, and also you get an ultrasonic in-display fingerprint sensor. That is generally very reliable and it works super fast. But unfortunately it does not work properly with any tempered glass screen protector. The core of the Xiaomi 15 is powered by Qualcomm's monstrosity Snapdragon 8 Elite processor. That is way too powerful to run anything you throw at it. And the Adreno 830 GPU makes it a beast when it comes to the gaming performance. But having such a powerful processor in such a small form factor comes with its own disadvantages like the heat dissipation. The Xiaomi 15 tends to warm up pretty much every time you use the camera app or play games on it. And at times, even just scrolling through social media or watching YouTube videos will make it pretty much toasty. In fact, I mostly use it in power saving mode just because of the heating issue. So, if you're a case person who doesn't like to keep your phone naked, so you are probably going to experience a lot of heat issue, especially in hot summer days. The variant I have has 12 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM and 512 gigs of UFS 4.0 storage. It has Bluetooth 5.4 that works pretty much okay for Bluetooth audio streaming, and it has dual band Wi-Fi 7 support as well. The SIM tray has dual SIM slots, and there is also eSIM support on this model. The network reception so far has been pretty satisfactory on this phone, and the Wi-Fi works pretty solid, but I still haven't tested 5G on it. It's a great device when it comes to the gaming performance, and I've been gaming with it off and on, and every time when the gaming sessions get a bit intense, so the device gets really hot to the touch. So my maximum gaming sessions do not exceed 1 hour, because I do not want my battery health to get damaged. But I haven't seen any frame drops so far while gaming. The global version packs a 5240 mAh silicon carbon battery that charges at 90 watts with the included charging adapter in the box, and it takes about 35 to 45 minutes to get from 0 to 100. But charging speed depends on the temperature of the surroundings too. It can also charge wirelessly at 50 watts with Xiaomi's proprietary wireless charger, and it also supports 10 watts reverse wireless charging. Now, the phone does get warm when it's charging, and to keep things on a cooler side, I also purchased a Xiaomi 67 watt gallium nitride charger for my Xiaomi 15. But it didn't make any big difference, and the phone gets equally warm while using the GAN charger. So, I would say the battery life isn't the best, but it's pretty much satisfactory, and you will get 1 day of battery life with moderate use, with screen time averaging around 7 hours. Anyhow, the Type C charging port of the Xiaomi 15 is generation 3.2 and it supports faster data transfer speeds. Xiaomi 15 came with Android 15 out of the box and is currently running on HyperOS 2.2 skin based on Android 16. Now, don't get me wrong, the HyperOS is pretty smooth UI that is packed with rich animations and great features, but it has the worst optimization when it comes to app retention. And there are some stubborn bugs that I have been reporting to Xiaomi since decades on most of their other phones that are still there on Xiaomi 15. One of them was the DND mode bug, and it won't just go away until I receive the security patch update of August. The other issue is the lack of software optimization when it comes to RAM management and app retention. Even on their flagship number series devices like the Xiaomi 15 itself, the phone aggressively kills background apps for which the HyperOS is quite notorious. This phone is promised 4 years of OS updates and 6 years of security updates, but Xiaomi is pretty slow when it comes to pushing the updates and bug fixes game. The Xiaomi 15 houses a triple 50 megapixel camera array and a 32 megapixel front facing camera. The cameras have Leica branding because they are supposedly color tuned in collaboration with Leica. The main camera is a 50 megapixel OmniVision Light Fusion 900 sensor that is 1 over 1.31 inch with optical image stabilization, and it can record up to 8K 30 FPS, and we have seen the same sensor on Xiaomi 14 and the Xiaomi 14T Pro. The telephoto camera is a 50 megapixel Samsung ISOCELL Gen 5 sensor that has 2.6 times optical zoom and it can record in 4K 60 FPS. And the third camera is a 50 megapixel ultra wide camera with Samsung ISOCELL Gen 1 sensor that has 115 degrees field of view and it can also record in 4K 60 FPS. The front facing camera is 32 megapixel and it has OmniVision OV32B sensor and it can also record in 4K 60 FPS. Once you open the camera app, so you will find two color style modes. One is the Leica Vibrant and the other is Leica Authentic. And 99% of the times I use it on Leica Vibrant to keep things bright and saturated. Leica Authentic on the other hand feels a bit tuned down and it automatically applies vignette to the photos, which I don't like. Other than this, you get tons of shooting modes that you can play with. Here are some camera samples of the Xiaomi 15 across different focal lengths. The color consistency across three sensors is also not too different, which is a good thing in my opinion. In general, the camera performance of this phone is amazing. But one thing I've noticed is the unusual skin tone that you get when you photograph a human subject. And also in certain HDR situations, it makes the images way too contrasty. The low light photography is pretty decent and you get really nice details from the main lens. However, ultra wide camera is a bit underpowered in low light and it suffers from lack of details and noise. Telephoto is ever so slightly better in low light compared to the ultra wide. The portrait shots turn out to be pretty decent in low light both on main lens and telephoto. And the edge detection overall is satisfactory. Daylight portraits also have decent edge detection. The selfie shooter also performs pretty decent both outdoors and indoors in all lighting conditions, and portrait shots also turn out to be fine. The telephoto camera can also capture 10cm macro shots and the results look pretty amazing, and you can also use it to capture macro video. This video is being recorded using the front cam of the Xiaomi 15 in 4K 60fps, and the audio is also captured using Xiaomi's mic, and this is how the stabilization look. This is the main camera of the Xiaomi 15 and this video is 4K 60fps, and this is how the stabilization look on the main camera. Okay, so this is the ultra wide camera of the Xiaomi 15 and this video is 4K 60fps, and this is how the stabilization looks on the ultra wide camera. Stabilization in video recording on the main camera is really nice. You get really smooth video recording in both 1080p and 4K 60fps. However, in low light videography, you will get to see the jello effect, which is usually there on most Android phones when it comes to low light videography performance. But on Xiaomi 15, there is a night video mode that drops down the FPS to 24, which makes the video quality better ever so slightly. You can also record slow motion video in 1080p up to 960fps. If you happen to like the video, do let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like and share the video, and catch you in the next one.